Good morning, afternoon. I think it's, still good morning. I'm all geared up for GCU. I'm going to pick up Mason, and we are headed to the GCU rugby game. GCU is at home playing against UCLA today, so pretty excited, heading into the thick of their season. I spent a few hours scattered throughout the week, kind of brainstorming. Well, I've got an amped mental performance podcast that I actually like script my podcast because they're short, to the point. I just want to get through them. The Life of Neil stuff, I want it to be a little bit more free flowing and stream of conscious type stuff, but I still want it to be focused on something. And so I've been thinking about mission, vision, values, pillars, all the things that I tell you should be doing, and I want to make sure that I'm doing those too. So I was brainstorming, what do I want? And it's not about my YouTube channel. It's about the YouTube channel is supposed to be reflective of my life. That's what I want. I want it to be authentic. I want it to be true to me. I don't want to put on a show for you. I just want you to I want to show you what I normally do. Driving in my car, which is why I thought if I'm driving to the gym, driving to or from work, it just makes sense. Why don't I just start having some conversations with you and with myself and record them? So it's not about putting on a show. It's about being authentic and being who I am, but I don't want it to be flippant either. I want my life to have purpose and meaning. All the reasons why I tell you should be doing the same things. It's because I'm going through this process. I'm not standing on a platform, I'm not standing on a stage telling you I have it all figured out. I'm telling you that I'm figuring this out as I'm going, and I'm recording it so that maybe you could get some benefit from it, you could get some guidance and mentorship from it, but also gives me some feedback because I'm figuring this out too. I don't have it all figured out. But I was thinking specifically about core values, because I think that's where it has to start. It has to start with a belief system. And if everything's a priority, nothing's a priority. You could really only have 2, maybe 3 priorities. A fourth one thrown in there to think about down the road if you want to build up to something. But beyond that, you start throwing in too many things, and the things are going to lose their importance. You're going to get lost in prioritization and meaningless tasks. That's what it's going to be. Your priorities are going to just become a to-do list, and that's not helpful. And that's where values come in. Value words or phrases, but then also the definition of what they actually mean. And so I was going through all these, the purpose and passion that I have, and what matches and what matters, and how can I very clearly, succinctly, in short words and phrases, say what it is that I stand for. And I came up with 4. And I was, again, 5, 6, 7. I'm like, no, it's too much. I whittled it down to 4, and I think it's 4 good ones. So I'm going to work on these over the weekend and see how I feel about them, and what words I can put to them to bring out some type of definition. Because it's not just about having values, it's about having value-based goals, value-based behaviors, value-based thoughts and emotions and actions. Because if you just throw up integrity on the wall, okay, well, what does it mean to live a life of integrity, right? It's more than just doing the right thing, even when nobody's looking. That's the typical answer, but go deeper than that. So I'm going to go deeper on these 4, but I wanted to share them with you at first. So, SAMI. Sammy? Dude, just acronyms, because I'm from the military, but also so I can remember them. So my value system is SAMI, SAMI. So it starts with significance. To live a life of significance, not success. Don't chase success, chase significance. I want to have a purpose and passion. I do want to make money. I do want to have certain possessions, not a lot of possessions. I don't want to own everything. I want to own meaningful things. My wife is preparing to complete her real estate license certification so that she can get into something, not just buying, selling houses, but what does real estate look like? What do we want? We want to look at buying land in northern Arizona. What does that look like? What is the purpose behind what we're trying to buy? I have a specific vehicle. I could have gone out and bought anything, but I specifically bought a Toyota 4Runner because I love the style, I love the sport of it, I love the capability, taking out in the desert, tromping around, and it's very capable. It's going to last a long time if I take care of it, but it's also going to be rugged. So there's a lot of purpose behind our decisions. So I think significance is a very important word to me. So significance, Sammy, S-A, A is authenticity. I want to be authentic. I thought about integrity. And it's not that integrity is a useless word. I think it's an important word. And I've often heard, especially in organizations, when people are like, well, if you have to put integrity on the wall, then you have a bigger problem. Well, I think it goes deeper than that. And I still think it's important to have that as a pillar. Because again, if you don't define what you stand for, then your priorities and your principles might get mixed up with preferences. And so writing integrity on the wall is still important, but I wanted to go deeper than that. That it's not just about living a life of integrity. It's living a life of authenticity, being authentic to myself, which includes integrity. And so that's why I wanted to go something a little bit further. And so, yeah, I like this idea of authenticity. What does it mean? Because if in order to be authentic, be an authentic person, to live a life of authenticity, you have to have some pretty firm definitions. So I think that's the depth that I was looking for. So significance, authenticity, SAM, the M is mental fitness. And I think that's an outstanding word because a lot of people talk about mental health and mental wellness. But if you look at the correlation between mental and physical, if you compare those, you look at, if I want to be well, I can eat occasionally well and, still eat some shitty food and go to the gym a couple of days a week, do some yoga, do some stretching, and go for a walk. I'm going to be pretty well, but that's not high end, right? And I'm not competing for anything. I'm not trying to climb mountains. I'm not trying to run races, but I do want to be at a higher level because it's a hedge against sickness. It's a barrier. It's if I'm a fit person and then I get sick, right? I don't feel well. I take some time off. That needle has to go backwards through wellness in order to get to sickness. If I'm at well, that's like halfway. And if I go off the wagon, if I don't stick to my schedule, if life happens, if there's a major event, it's easy to drop from well to sick. And this is the way that I define it. Other people might define it different. Don't care. This is the way that I define it. So I look at fitness as that, like your full fuel gauge, right? Wellness is the mid-range, your halfway fuel gauge. And then sickness, you're empty. So I want a full fuel gauge. I want fitness. And which is why I go to the gym minimum 4 days a week now. Again, that's partially out of necessity because I want to leave to work early and not get stuck in traffic, but it's a opportunity to hold myself accountable. Okay, then get up and go to the gym. And now I'm to the point where even on the weekend, I'm waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning, going to bed at 9:30. I don't need to stay up until 10, 11 o'clock. Why? What's the point? Unless there's actually something that I'm doing. If I am, I'm actually being lazy. That's me being lazy, right? So it's all this wrapped into mental fitness is the resilience, the mental toughness, the mastery mindset of never satisfied. It's okay being comfortable every once in a while, but when it comes to lifelong passion of being fit so that I can be good on my own for other people. I don't want to be fit for my family. I want to be fit for me because I want to be able to stand on my own so that I'm a stronger person for my family. I do it for my family, but it is primarily for me, and that is not selfish at all. That is actually selfless, because if I take care of myself, my family doesn't have to worry about me. My wife doesn't have to worry about my health, my mental health, my physical health, my emotional capabilities, and my emotional well-being, and am I eating right? No, I'm eating better because I want to be fit, because I'm going to the gym and I don't want to waste my time. All this is, that accountability mindset, that authentic life. Mental fitness is part of it. But I can't just occasionally read a book and listen to a podcast. There has to be more. What's the learning that's going on? What's the application? There's a difference between intelligence and wisdom. Intelligence is knowing information. Okay, got it. But what are you going to do with it? And then you apply it over time and it becomes wisdom. So wisdom is intelligence applied over time. But wisdom is not guaranteed, right? It still has to be deliberate. And so this idea of mental fitness is the resilience and the wellness and the mental health and the challenge and the accountability, all that wrapped into pushing myself so I am at the top end of my mental capabilities and constantly pushing to get better all the time. So significance, authenticity, mental fitness, and then the I is intentional life. I want to live an intentional life. I don't want the world to dictate me. I want to dictate my world. And if my world is I go to the gym in the morning, I go to work, I come home and I chill out 3-4 days a week, that's okay. I don't have to be on point, killing it every day. I don't have to be out adventuring for 15 days in my truck just to say, oh, well, you're not an overlander, you're not an off-roader if you're camping in your truck. Okay. That's like all those statements of, you're not a real man unless you bullshit. Stop, dude. I'm going to define the life that I want to live based on me and my family, the family I've created, not necessarily the family I came from, the family I created, which is my priority. And we are going to live an intentional life, supporting my wife and her ambitions and her goals and her passions, while also pursuing mine and supporting the kids as they come up through theirs. And understanding that each person's journey is their individual journey, and it does include other people. Their journeys include me, but their journey is not my journey. And so I want to live an intentional life while also ensuring that I'm supporting their intentional life. So I think that's a good start of my core values. Sammy. I'm going with Sammy. Significance, authenticity, mental fitness, intentional life. And I'm going to work on that, refine it. I think it's pretty far. I don't think I'm going to change anything. I don't think there's any reason to. I like it. I like the simplicity. I like the effectiveness. But I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think of these values? What do you think of values in general? Does this stir anything inside of you? Make you think of anything in particular that you value? Challenges you to create your value system, your list of values, and start defining what it means to live your values? I'd love to hear it. Subscribe, comment, let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you soon.